Alright, so it has definitely been a few since I've done a video. Last talked about Elite Dangerous, but there is some awesome Xbox news now. Obviously, Xbox Series X and Series S pre-orders went up today. I spent 45 minutes getting my pre-order to go through. Thankfully, it finally did, and I did get that receipt in my email, so I know it's on the way. I was pretty worried for a minute there. um, I seen one YouTuber, The Quartering, who I actually greatly respect and have long been a fan of his videos, say that it was a disaster. I don't know why you call it a disaster. It's called demand. A lot of people wanted one, so things were freezing up and taking a while to go through. And pre-orders apparently sold out in minutes. But um, that's to be expected. At least they had an orderly launch. At least they said, hey, this is the exact time and date you can expect to get them from these specific retailers, and those retailers knew what was going on. Um, Otherwise, yeah, I did get a little bit worried because at exactly 11 a.m. I signed in and refreshed the page and hit configure for my order. I would get to step 2 repeatedly, and it would freeze up and I'd have to start over again. That took about the first 10 minutes. The next 30 minutes or so that it took me to go through, I was getting to the what was it? Review and confirm order, or review and place order screen. And it was here that it took me about 30 minutes over and over again to get this to work. And finally it went through. Finally it said your order's been placed and we'll send you your receipt. And I went and checked and it was there. So I should definitely be getting my Series X on launch day. Of course, I ordered through the Microsoft Store, so I won't be getting it at midnight or anything like that. It'll arrive the next morning. But beyond that, hopefully this is good news that they had so much trouble with it, because that should mean demand is high. Um, Beyond that, the news that Xbox or Microsoft actually purchased ZeniMax Media, which means they now own Bethesda, ID, and many other smaller but no less amazing studios that belong to ZeniMax and are published by Bethesda. This is massive news. $7.5 billion to buy the makers of Doom and Dishonored and Quake and Wolfenstein and Elder Scrolls and Fallout, and of course upcoming games like Starfield. This is it's incredibly huge. This is a major win for Microsoft, because not only does it boost their catalog of franchises that can be added to Game Pass, but hopefully new games going in the future will be coming from these studios. Now that they're given the freedom and resources to do whatever they want. Excuse me. Maybe they'll come up with something new. Kind of like Bethesda happens to be working on Starfield. Well, the other part of this that I think is interesting, and it's funny because I talked to somebody about it today. One of my coworkers, actually, we were discussing it, and I brought it up, and I was like, yeah, hopefully they're smart and they make these games exclusive. I understand there's a couple games coming to PlayStation, published by Bethesda, Tokyo. I don't know what this game is. Tokyo Ghostwire or something like that. And there's another one. These are supposed to be timed exclusives. I understand that they're gonna honor it, and that's fine. But when we're talking about the next Doom, the next Fallout, which is probably many years away, anyways, the next Elder Scrolls, which may still be a few years away, and Starfield, which may be a year or two away. I'm sorry, these are important games that if you're Microsoft and you just spent $7.5 billion to add this publisher and all their properties to your catalog and bring them into Xbox Game Studios, these games should be exclusive. Exclusives sell consoles. Sony and Nintendo have both shown this over and over again. Sony has some of the worst consumer practices and policies and services of any company I've ever encountered. Microsoft has by far, especially the last few years, some of the best. And yet, Sony manages to outsell them consistently this generation. Why is that? Because of the games, because of Spider-Man, because of God of War, because of whatever other random games that they... what was it? The Uncharted. All these different games. These are favorites that will keep people buying millions of consoles. And you can't tell me Microsoft is not in the game to sell consoles. You spend hundreds of millions or billions of dollars developing the technology that goes into a video game console. And yes, Microsoft has lots of money, but you don't invest that kind of money unless you intend to sell consoles. And exclusive games do that. Nintendo is almost entirely exclusive games to sell their platforms. And like I said, Sony manages to beat Microsoft at this game over and over again because of exclusives. Now, I think Microsoft has a bit of an advantage going this time. They have easily the more powerful hardware. They have the S, which is the more accessible hardware, and honestly does most of the same things the X does, just lower resolutions. And so they're set up to do extremely well. They own a whole bunch of really good, talented studios now, and it's time to start pumping out exclusive games, because that's what's that's like the final nail in the coffin. At this point, you have Game Pass, which is like the best deal in gaming. You have the most powerful hardware, so you're set there. The next thing you need to do is put some awesome games on your system. And that means when you buy Bethesda and you have Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Starfield, etc., these games need to be exclusives. And they're going to bring a lot of people to Game Pass and a lot of people to Xbox family brands, whether it's Game Pass, xCloud, PC, whatever it is. Like, stop playing nice. Stop being like, well, we understand. And no, I don't care about backlash. That was what my coworker said. Oh man, if they make Elder Scrolls or Fallout exclusive, there will be so much backlash. I'm like, so what? You also have people buy your console so they can play those games. Because in the end, that's what sells those games. If I wanted to play, I can't remember the name of the game. The chick fighting the robot animals out in the Badlands or whatever. I cannot remember the name of this game for the life of me. It's the one game that's really been interesting to me on PlayStation. And if I wanted to play that bad enough, I'd be going and buying a PlayStation so I could. And guess what? There are people who are extremely hardcore Elder Scrolls and Fallout fans, and probably even the shooters like Doom and Quake and all that. And if they're going to want to play that, guess what? You make it exclusive to your platform, and you win. Because even if people whine about it, even if game journalists decide to complain about it, in the end, people are going to buy that so they can play that console, so they can play that game. And that's how you sell your consoles. Funny thing about this is if it was Sony that had bought Bethesda, and if Sony came out immediately and was like, these games are all exclusive now, they won't be on Microsoft's console anymore, they won't be on Nintendo, they won't be on PC, whatever, it'd be just fine. Nobody would bat an eye and be like, oh, this is such a smart move for Sony, this is going to bring so many shooter fans and these fantasy RPG fans, or blah, blah, blah. It's like Sony can never do any wrong even when they do. And I'm sorry, this is a great business move. This is a great move for gaming, because honestly, when you give a company like Bethesda or the other studios these resources and freedom, who knows? Maybe they shift some of their creative talent and say, you know what? Maybe we're not really all that interested in doing Fallout 5 for a while, but we have this really cool idea that now that we're not pigeonholed into making Fallout 5, we can make this other game. And I think that's going to be the strength for any studio that joins Microsoft, is that if they were once known for something, maybe they'll become known for something else. Look at Playground Games. Playground Games makes the best racing games on the market, and they're going to continue to, I'm sure. Forza Horizon 5 will probably be outstanding. But they're the other side of their studio that's developing Fable. Who would have ever thought an exclusively racer studio would be making Fable? Not many people. And yet they're going to be, and it's probably going to be awesome. Why? Because when Microsoft bought them, they said, do what you want to do. Do what feels good to you. And I think that's going to be the case with Bethesda, with ID, with any of these, or id, any of these other studios. I think that's going to be the case. They're going to have freedom and resources to do awesome things under the Xbox brand, and they're going to join Game Pass, which is fantastic. You know, so as this all progresses, Xbox is going to be the place to play, especially if Microsoft is smart and make sure that these games going forward from now on, other than those that already have specific deals in place, are exclusives. Stop playing nice. Play to win. I know people want to say, "Oh, console wars." Console wars, the competition, it builds communities and it provides fun banter. Me and my coworkers chit chat and joke and mess with each other all the time. In the end, we're still texting each other. Hey, did you get your pre-order on your PS5? You know, I got the text this morning from my coworker. Did you get your pre-order for your Series X? You know, and then when we're at work, guess what? We're going to be bantering and messing around and talking about the different games and what's available and the hardware, whatever, because it's fun. And that playground banter is supposed to be part of the culture of gaming. And for all these YouTubers and Twitter, personalities that want to act like it's not, just stop. Nobody believes you, and your little neutrality game isn't really going to work. It's pandering. They're trying to make sure that they can half-heartedly pretend that they're not taking sides, so that they can draw in viewers from one side or the other. No, man, I'm an Xbox fan. If you're a PlayStation fan, that's cool, fine. We're grown-ups, but in the end, I'm still gonna be competitive about it. It's fun. Enjoy it. That's part of the whole thing with this gaming thing. That's part of the fun of it all. Anyways, I think this holiday season is going to be pretty awesome to watch play out, and the next year or two is going to be really awesome to watch play out as Halo Infinite and other exclusive games, Hellblade Senua's Saga, Senua's Saga, and then just Fable, for the next Forza Motorsport. Like, as all these things finally start to come out of their studios, especially the Initiative, when we finally get some word on that, and then when we see what happens with Bethesda, when we see these games filter into Game Pass and see work on Starfield, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Xbox is in a really good place this generation. So that's about all I wanted to say about that. Like I said, console wars, it's fun. Get your pre-orders. Everybody get ready. The holidays are coming up. It's been a tough year, and we all want to do something fun. We all want to have something to look forward to and kind of get past this year. And the perfect way to do that is get an Xbox, get a PlayStation, get your new games, get your new services, whatever it is, and let's just get 2020 over with. It's already almost October. Our consoles will be here at the beginning of November. And we'll be moving through another month or so, and hopefully everything just slowly returns to normal over the next few months as we go into next year. And I think we've got a really awesome generation of games to look forward to. And that's about it.